Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, Republican Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hovde breaks silence after 90% of the 4 a.m. Milwaukee ballot dumps favors the Democratic opponent. We're covering this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today from Jim Hoff reports that Republican Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hovde is now breaking silence after 90% at 4 a.m. Milwaukee ballot dumps favored his Democratic opponent in what many are calling a soft steal of the election. Republican Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hovde has broken his silence in a powerful video posted on X, addressing the shocking developments that transpired during the recent election. Hovde's remarks came in the wake of widespread concerns among voters regarding the integrity of the electoral process, particularly in Milwaukee, where anomalies have raised serious questions about the legitimacy of the results. Now, many people have been wondering why I've remained quiet since the election night. I believe it's better not to comment until I have the facts. The Wisconsin Election Commission is in the final process of finalizing the canvass from last Tuesday's election. Like many of my supporters, I was shocked by what unfolded on election night. At 1 a.m., I was receiving calls of congratulations, and based on the models, it appeared that I would win the Senate race. However, by 4 a.m., a staggering 108,000 absentee ballots were dumped from Milwaukee, with Senator Tammy Baldwin receiving nearly 90% of those votes. Statistically, this outcome seems improbable, as it didn't match the patterns from same-day voting in Milwaukee, where I received 22% of the votes. The candidate pointed to an alarming report of voting irregularities, including precincts in Milwaukee allegedly showing turnout rates exceeding 150% of registered voters. Now, Hovde also noted that in the peculiar dynamics of the election, highlighting that despite a decrease in registered voters and early voting numbers in Milwaukee, Kamala Harris received nearly the same number of votes as Biden did in 2020. He attributed this anomaly to last-minute surges in same-day registration. Now, since last Wednesday, numerous parties have reached out to me about voting inconsistencies, such as certain voting precincts in Milwaukee having turnout of over 150% of registered voters, in some cases over 200%. Additionally, in 2020, President Biden received 10 million more votes than Vice President Harris did last Tuesday. Yet in Milwaukee, even though the population has declined and registered voters decreased by 26,000 and early voting numbers were down somehow, Harris received only 1,100 fewer votes than Biden did, which is not consistent with most major cities, he added. This was accomplished by same-day registration that surged by almost 50% on a rainy day. Many people have reached out and urged me to contest the election. Now, Hovde accused Democrats of orchestrating a deceptive strategy by funding a false America First candidate, Thomas Liger, to siphon votes away from him. We do know is that Democrats organized and funded a phony America First candidate, Thomas Liger, on the ballot to deceive voters into thinking the candidate was aligned with President Trump. In order to siphon votes from me because of this deception, he received 28,724 votes. Additionally, Democrats propped up the Libertarian candidate Phil Anderson, who garnered 42,000 votes through mailers and digital media, again to draw away votes from me. If either of these candidates had not been in the race, the outcome would be different today. It is right and fair to deceive voters. Is this the democratic process we want? Confidence in our elections is essential to a functioning democracy. It is one thing to lie to voters through TV ads claiming I'm a Californian or that I want to ban abortion or beer. It is another to fund and organize a false candidate to manipulate voters. Now, Hovde went on to criticize the Wisconsin and Milwaukee election commissions, accusing them of failing to clean up our voter rolls. Wisconsin reportedly has nearly 8 million registered voters and only 3.5 million active voters, which is actually quite bizarre. Another issue that further undermines our confidence in our election is the failure by Wisconsin and Milwaukee election commissions to clean up our voter rolls. This lack of action raises obvious questions about their commitment to doing their job. What happened in this election does not inspire confidence in our process, he went on to say. You can watch the full video there on X. Now, it's pretty remarkable when we talk about how seriously screwy it is. If you see, there's the vertical jump on election night at 4 a.m. where almost all the votes came in and suddenly he's losing because the Democrat Tammy Baldwin, who takes money from Soros, is now winning. And then it seems like Harris basically got the same amount of votes as Biden in that county, although she basically didn't get any of the same votes in any other state. Maybe, just maybe, there might be something more to the picture here. Now, obviously, you may know this, but Dr. Gary Reichter, named America's favorite veterinarian, has helped thousands of dogs overcome health issues that seemed impossible to resolve and has created an important video for all pet owners, revealing crucial information about dog health. Now, if your dog has a dull coat, low energy, maybe just itchy skin, red ears, or a bad breath, these could be early warning signs of serious health problems that worsen with age. Dr. Reichter emphasizes that nutrition is key, and he explains how commercial dog food, pressure cooked at high temperatures, often loses essential nutrients and contains preservatives that could harm your pet's health. After years of research and even writing a best-selling book on the subject, the doctor has developed a simple and effective method to improve your dog's well-being without changing their current food. His approach involves daily 2-minute routine that can make a significant difference in your pet's health. You can learn his exact method and follow easy step-by-step instructions by watching his video at healthydog1.com/pundit. That's HEALTHYDOG1.com/pundit. Visit the site or click the link in the description today. Now, as I mentioned in other news, it's quite remarkable that we're still talking about the election, but what about Trump's cabinet? What's evolved there? Well, it appears that President Trump announces senior White House staff of all stars. Christina Lila reports. President Trump on Wednesday announced the senior of his White House staff of all stars. Dan Scavino will return to the White House as an assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff. Stephen Miller will return to the White House as assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff for policy and homeland security advisor. James Blair will serve as an assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff for legislative, political, and public affairs. Taylor Bowdowich will serve as assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff for communications and personnel. That goes on to explain here that we have more on the matter. Now, Dan Scavino was a Trump campaign senior advisor and is Trump's longest serving and most trusted aides. Epic entrance by Dan Scavino to enter at the Sandman. You can watch the video. The brilliant Stephen Miller served as a Trump campaign senior advisor and previously served in Trump's White House. It goes on to explain here. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, your next deputy of chief of staff, Stephen Miller. America is for Americans and Americans only." He says at the rally, check out this quick clip, which showcases really how bold and brave this administration has become.
I want you to think for a minute about the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Their jobs looted and stolen from them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries. The lives of their loved ones ripped away from them by illegal aliens, criminal gangs, and thugs who don't belong in this country. I'm not just saying that. You've read the stories. It happens every day. You read one of these heartbreaking headlines. Who's going to stand up for our daughters? Who's going to stand up for the girls of America, the women of America, the families of America? Who's going to stand up and say the cartels are gone, the criminal migrants are gone, the gangs are gone, America is for Americans and Americans only?
Right. America's for Americans and Americans only. That shouldn't be a controversial statement, but it remains weird that there are people that have special interests that think that America shouldn't be for us. Now, we can define what American is, and, being American used to mean that you were a white person. And now our country, in the last 75 years, is under a major experimentation to where we were never very culturally or ethnically diverse. We were always a white nation, and now we are not. At least barely a majority, but we are quickly changing our demographics. Now, they told you replacement wasn't happening. It is happening. But at least we can understand this. While there is a lot of argument about the changing demographics of the country and whether or not it's a good or a bad thing, whether we want Haitians here in places that, are traditionally have lower IQs or in general are just uncivilized shitholes, as Trump called it, it is pretty remarkable that at least we can define that Americans should at least be for legal citizens at the very least. It's sad that conservatism is just trying to conserve the fact that you have to be a citizen to live here. We've fallen so far from what our ancestors probably would have wanted for us. Now, breaking news here. John Thune is elected Senate Majority Leader in blow to MAGA conservatives. This one makes me angry. Mitch McConnell, Lackey, Trump hater, and War-Monger wins Majority Leader. This is the resistance of the main Trump MAGA movement. The Senate GOP has voted to select John Thune of South Dakota as Majority Leader in a blow to MAGA conservatives. Chad Pergram of Fox News was the first to break the news. Thune wins the Majority Leader race. As the Gateway Pundit previously reported, 3 candidates were up for the Majority Leader position: Thune, John Cornyn of Texas, and Rick Scott of Florida. The final vote on the ballot was 29 votes for Thune and 24 votes for Cornyn. Since this was a secret ballot, we will never know who the members voted for. Thune wins 29-24 over Cornyn. Now, Rick Scott of Florida, who was the Gateway Pundit endorsed, was eliminated on the first ballot after receiving just 13 votes. No winner on the first ballot. Now it goes on to explain Thune had 23, Cornyn had 15, and Scott had 13. Now everybody knows that true conservatives were trying to get Scott to win. Thune has literally been an anti-Trump rhino. And so it's, draining the swamp isn't going to be as easy as people want to try to define it as when you have the Senate now being led by these absolute mongrels of human beings. Now, this news is a blow to conservatives who hope to see a clear break from Trump-hating Mitch McConnell. Thune is not only a longtime neocon and McConnell ally, he has anti-Trump credentials that almost make Cornyn look reasonable. Here's a video published by Representative Anna Paulina showing how deep Thune's disdain for Trump runs. Check this out. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is just stupid, I'm sorry. Just at this point, like, electing someone like this is beyond mind-numbing. Listen.
Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. Would you support him?
Well, I'm hoping, Leanne, to have other options.
A verdict in the Trump trial could come next week if he's convicted. Could you support him still?
I'm not. We'll see how the trial comes out. I'm not weighing in on that.
Senator John Thune, the number 2 Senate Republican, warned on Monday that efforts to challenge the Electoral College vote in Congress next month would fall short in the Senate. Thune told reporters, quote, in the Senate, it would go down like a shot dog. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to put everybody through this when you know what the ultimate outcome is going to be.
Is President-elect Trump involved in does he have a chosen preference in the Senate? Do you know?
Honestly, I think my preference would be, and I think it's probably in his best interest to stay out of that. These Senate secret ballot elections are probably best left to senators.
So frustrating. It's like the resistance from the machine, these neocon sharks coming out exactly where you would expect them to be and just saying, we're going to resist. Because if you remember this, that Thune also demanded Trump drop out of the 2016 race. It's so sickening. Honestly, it's disgusting. Now, this is a breaking news story. You got to check back with us for updates. But to see Thune and these people, come in and directly say that they are against Trump before he's even been inaugurated, I have to keep it professional, but it is pretty mind-numbing that we are back to this level of retardation in our country. Mitch McConnell and the Congress are working against us as people of this nation. They hate us. And they want their war machine to continue. And it's just so unfortunate. Now, this is also a new breaking. President Trump nominates Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense in shock move. Colin Lineberger reports that President Trump has a Secretary of Defense, and it is a name that no one saw coming. Just a short time ago, Trump announced that he had selected Fox News' own Pete Hegseth to lead the Department of Defense. He cited Hegseth's stellar America First credentials and decorated service as an Army combat veteran. He also cited Hegseth's book, The War on Warriors, which analyzed the left's betrayal of those who have risked their lives to serve our nation. Statement from President Donald J. Trump. He said this: I am honored to announce that I have nominated Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as the Secretary of Defense. Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and for the country. Pete is a tough, smart, and true believer in the America First agenda. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never go back down. Pete is a graduate of Princeton University and has a graduate degree from Harvard University. He is an Army combat veteran who did tours in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, and Afghanistan. For his actions on the battlefield, he has decorated with 2 Bronze Stars and has a combat infantryman's badge. Pete has been a host of Fox News for 8 years, where he used that platform to fight for our military and veterans. Pete's recent book, The War on Warriors, spent 9 weeks on the New York Times bestsellers list, including 2 weeks at number 1. The book reveals the left-wing betrayal of our warriors and how we must return our military to meritocracy, lethality, accountability, and excellence. Pete has also led 2 veteran advocacy organizations leading to the fight for our warriors and our great veterans. Nobody fights for the troops, and Pete will be courageous and patriotic champion of our peace through strength agenda. Now, of course, there are some critics of that, but I do want to remind you of something literally insane here. So, do you love staying in shape? And do you like taking care of your health, right? I'm trying to take care of my health. It's hard with 2 young kids, but I got to talk to you about BioOptimizer's Black Friday deal, and it's here today with free gifts for the entire month of November. It's their biggest sale of the year, and I have an exclusive invite just for you. If stress or poor sleep is affecting you, there's one key nutrient that can help: magnesium. Breakthrough. So this all-in-one supplement contains all 7 forms of magnesium to support better sleep, stress management, hormone balance, mood, and more, all in one bottle. Throughout November, enjoy a huge discount up to $100 in free gifts with your purchase using my unique link. Stock up now. Visit biooptimizers.com/gatewaypundit and use the code gatewaypundit to get your exclusive deal. Remember, BioOptimizers guarantees their product with a 1-year refund policy, so there's no risk. Don't miss out. Head to BioOptimizers or biooptimizers.com/gatewaypundit. That's BioPtimizers.com/GATEY or GATEWAYPUNDIT. That's BioOptimizers.com/gatewaypundit to get $100 in free gifts today. Don't miss out. Now, that being said, it is remarkable, as I mentioned with Pete Hegseth, that, people said that he's obviously got a big support for sort of, wants to kind of keep the war going in Israel. And you might support that, A lot of our readers support the war in Israel. So if you like that and you want to keep foreign wars going and you want to keep paying for that, then that's your man. If that's not what you wanted, it might not be the best decision of our lifetime. But sit down, Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren gets dragged on Twitter and X for criticizing Trump's choice. Pete Hegseth for defense secretary. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is getting an earful on Twitter after criticizing Trump's choice of Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. Warren's post is insulting to Hegseth. She refers to him as merely a host on Fox and Friends without mentioning his military experience, his honors, or his top-notch education. Warren's attitude here is precisely the kind of elitist snobbery that cost Democrats so much in the election. Here's the tweet. A Fox and Friends weekend co-host is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. I lead the Senate military personnel panel. All 3 of my brothers served in uniform. I respect every one of our service members. Donald Trump's pick will make us less safe and must be rejected. Well, here's a sampling of the blowback. Pete Hegseth is a 20-year military veteran, a decorated combat veteran, a recipient of Bronze Star, and graduated from both Harvard and Princeton. You falsely claimed to be an Indian to get a job so you couldn't get on your own merits. Sit down, Pocahontas. Clint Brown said he has a Harvard master's degree, not to mention 20 years of military service. Wasn't teaching at Harvard your qualification for being a senator? He goes on to say, Pete Hegseth has 20 years of military experience and has been awarded several honors, including 2 Bronze Stars. Sit down and shut up. Additionally, Brandy Cruz says this. She had to throw in weekend and co-host only for TV people understand that. Added condescension. He served his country for 20 years, Senator. You lead a panel. Additionally, Raylan Givens says, you are not qualified to be a senator, but there we are. And the more and more goes on. Well, she's getting roasted like she's a turkey on Thanksgiving. It's kind of funny to see Pocahontas just put into that direction, which is being put in her place. Now, I don't know if you might have noticed, but I have a little cup right there. This is our new mugs. We got mugs at thegatewaypundit.com. So if you want to get a new mug, you want to join and support us, we have a fight of our lives legally always. People are coming at us, trying to destroy us, but you support and you read. But if you want to take a step further and support us directly in our mug club, join today at thegatewaypundit.com. Get your mug. It's really high quality too, which is what I like about it the most. It's not one of those cheap ones that feels like you got it from like Temu, right? This is like one of those nice, weighty, beautiful mugs that feel good. It has the logo. It's not just like printed on. It's like properly etched in, right? This is all like, it's like Braille almost. I don't know. It's just like properly nice. It's not just like a screen print. Check them out today. Anyway, have a great rest of the week as always. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.